Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and lush green fields, lived a young man named Jake. Jake was a dreamer, a believer in the extraordinary, but life hadn't been kind to him. Disappointment seemed to be his constant companion, a shadow that followed him through every rejection letter and closed door. One gloomy day, as raindrops tapped lightly on the window pane, Jake sat by the fireplace in his modest home, staring into the dancing flames with a heavy heart. He had just received yet another rejection letter for a job he had applied to. It seemed like every door he knocked on was firmly shut, leaving him stranded in a sea of despair. Feeling defeated, Jake decided to take a walk through the village to clear his mind. As he trudged along the muddy path, he noticed an old man sitting on a weathered bench, his eyes fixed on the distant horizon. Intrigued, Jake approached the old man and took a seat beside him. The old man turned to Jake, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Troubled, young one?" he asked, his voice carrying the weight of years. Jake sighed, his shoulders slumped. "I feel like I'm stuck, like life is passing me by. I keep trying, but nothing seems to work out. I just want to be happy, you know?" The old man chuckled softly. "Happiness, my boy, is a curious thing. It's not a constant state, but rather a fleeting emotion. The real question is, who told you that you should be happy all the time?" Jake furrowed his brow, puzzled by the old man's words. "Well, isn't happiness what we're all chasing?" The old man nodded knowingly. "Ah, yes, but the journey to happiness is filled with ups and downs. It's like climbing a mountain, you start at the base, face challenges along the way, and savor the joy at the summit. But who told you that the climb would be easy?" Jake pondered the old man's words, realizing that perhaps he had been chasing an unrealistic expectation. "I guess I just thought success would bring happiness, and I'm tired of facing one disappointment after another." The old man nodded empathetically. "Young man, let me share a story with you. A tale of perseverance, of not giving up, even when the storm clouds gather and the path seems treacherous." And so, the old man began his story. Once in a bustling city, there was a young entrepreneur named Thomas. He had a vision, a dream to create a company that would revolutionize the way people connected with each other. Excitement and passion fueled his every step, and he dove headfirst into the world of business. However, as with any journey, challenges arose. Thomas faced rejection from investors, criticism from peers, and countless setbacks that seemed to threaten his dream. There were moments when he questioned whether the pursuit of happiness was worth the struggle. One day, in the midst of his darkest hour, Thomas met an old mentor, a wise man who had weathered many storms in his own life. The mentor looked at Thomas with understanding eyes and said, "My boy, who told you that success comes without its share of trials? Life is a test of resilience, a journey where every stumble teaches us to stand taller." Thomas, desperate for guidance, asked, "But what if I never reach the success I dream of? What if I keep facing disappointment?" The old mentor smiled knowingly. "Success is not the absence of failure, my dear. It's the courage to persist despite it. Happiness is not a constant, but a byproduct of a life well lived, of challenges faced and overcome." Thomas took those words to heart and decided to continue his journey, embracing each failure as a stepping stone toward his goal. He worked harder, learned from his mistakes, and gradually, his dream began to take shape. Years passed, and Thomas's company not only survived, but thrived. The very challenges that once seemed insurmountable became the catalysts for innovation. As he stood at the pinnacle of his success, he reflected on the wisdom of the old mentor who had guided him through the storm. The old man paused, allowing the weight of the story to settle on Jake's shoulders. "Do you see, young one? Success is not a destination but a journey, and the path is seldom smooth. It's okay to feel sadness, disappointment, and frustration along the way. These emotions are not roadblocks, but stepping stones." Jake listened intently, the flickering flames casting shadows on his face. The old man continued, "Life is a series of highs and lows. It's the lows that make the highs sweeter. Remember, who told you that you should be happy all the time? Embrace the full spectrum of emotions, for they are the colors that paint the canvas of your life." Inspired by the old man's words, Jake felt a newfound determination stirring within him. "But what if I keep facing rejection? What if my dreams never come true?" The old man chuckled. "Ah, my dear, rejection is not a sign of failure, but an opportunity for growth. Every no brings you closer to the yes that matters. Your dreams may take time to materialize, but persistence is the key." Encouraged by the old man's wisdom, Jake decided to approach his challenges with a renewed mindset. He acknowledged that the journey might be arduous, but he was determined to press on. The village that once felt confining now seemed like a canvas of possibilities waiting to be explored. Months passed, and Jake faced both triumphs and setbacks. Job applications still yielded rejections, but he approached each one with resilience. One day, as he sat in the village square, deep in thought, the old man approached him. "Ah, young one, how goes your journey?" the old man inquired, his eyes twinkling. Jake smiled, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "It's tough, but I'm learning to embrace the challenges. I've come to understand that success isn't an instant remedy for happiness. It's the effort, the journey, and the lessons along the way that matter." The old man nodded approvingly. "You're beginning to grasp the essence of life, my boy. Remember, it's not about the destination, but the person you become on the journey." Emboldened by the old man's words, Jake continued to persevere. He started to view each rejection as an opportunity to refine his skills, to grow stronger. His resilience caught the attention of a small local business owner, who offered him an entry-level position. It wasn't the grand success Jake had envisioned, but it was a stepping stone. As Jake immersed himself in his work, he encountered new challenges and learned valuable lessons. Slowly but steadily, he climbed the metaphorical mountain of his aspirations. The old man, always a silent observer, watched with pride as Jake transformed from a disappointed young man to a determined individual, ready to face whatever lay ahead. One day, as Jake sat by the same weathered bench where he had first met the old man, the two shared a moment of reflection. The old man spoke, "You've come a long way, my dear friend. The journey is never easy, but it's the challenges that mold us into who we are meant to be." Jake nodded, gratitude filling his heart.